So very good afternoon. The almost session of medical training. So here the second session, as per the schedule, we are about the body model, as a human anatomy. Whereas how far it is very useful. Yes. So the thing is, we are supposed to see the human model. Okay? So what is the reason behind having this particular human anatomy, this particular training? Because whatever the thing we are supposed to do, whatever the things we are supposed to do, the most important thing is we need to understand about the concepts. So right now we are going to straight away enter into the equipment. For example, you can just take an example of the sphygmomanometer or ECG. So for the ECG machine, of course, it is full of electronics. Of course, the way each and every parts over there in the ECG machine, including electrodes, including monitors, including the signal generators, amplifiers, all the things present inside the equipment and electronics. But the most important thing is, once you are manufacturing that particular equipment, what is the purpose of the particular equipment? You are supposed to use the particular equipment to the human being or to the patient. So if you want to use the particular equipment to the human being, you must know the value of human organs, because once you have fixed that particular electrodes into the human body, the particular equipment will show some of the readings. The particular equipment will show some of the readings. That may be a numerical readings or whether it may be a signal readings. Whatever it may be, it will show some of the output. As a medical engineer, what is the most important thing you need to know is you can able to read the particular output response. Don't simply say that is the waveform. Don't simply say that is the reading. Don't simply say that is nothing, that is something response. So that is not only your job. That is the way we are different from the electrical electronics. The electrical electronic can able to manufacture particular ECG equipment. But the electrical people, electronics people are not able to use so only the engineer, those who understand engineers are able to use the particular to the patient. So that is what even the equipment is. There are I said there are almost 40,000 equipment, 50,000 equipment there. Each and every equipment, it is expertly creating or expertly manufactured for the purpose of diagnosing any of the illness of the patient. Okay, so if you can able to understand the normal and the normal and the human organs value, then only you can able to understand what is the abnormal value of this. What is the real function of this? So once you know about the real function of each and every organ, then only you can able to use the particular equipment to the patient. For example, each and every organ need to have a different sort of equipment. We are supposed to go for the EEG. Each and every equipment, each and every organ needs some equipment. So only the equipment knowledge is not used by you. If you want to differ from the electrical people, electronics people, you should provide this. So that is what in the training session we are understanding this particular human anatomy session 2. Okay, so here what I am going to tell you today is I am going to use this particular plan. I am going to use this particular plan. I am going to dismantle this all this my friend Mr. Mehdi. He is going to dismantle all this particular part. Okay, so this particular human man is going to dismantle and explain each and every parts here. So most importantly, you are not supposed to learn the anatomy deeper aspects of what sort of the anatomical part you need. That is enough for you to learn about. Okay, the smaller particular anatomy is enough for the anatomy, not going deeper and know about all this. Okay, so here, so first of all, in our human body, totally learn human systems. Because everyone says that the systems of the people. The control system is nothing but a group of elements. The group of elements combined together to do some special functions is called a system. That is the name of the system. The group of elements. The group of elements means that, for example, just take an example of the atom. Everyone know about the structure of an atom. So you take an example of the atom. A group of element. A group of element means that oracles, right oracles, left oracle, right oracles, left oracle. All these are the bonds in the atoms, the names, all the atoms, all the names, all things are combined together. That is, all things are considered as elements. All these elements are combined together to frame a system to do some special function. What is the function? Or give us function. So that is what our total level human system is composed of bunch of elements. Okay, each and every organ is made of some of the elements. That elements are called as a tissue. Okay, that elements are called as a tissue. That tissue is created by means of the collection of cells. Okay, from the descending order or from the ascending order, everyone says that from the ascending order, a group of cells are called as a tissue, a group of tissue is called as the organ, a group of organs is called as a system. Just think differently, the system is composed of organ, of course. That particular organ is composed of small elements, as like I said. So that particular small elements are called tissue or the parts. That particular tissue is composed of cells. So this is the frame of each and every organ in the system. So in the living human system, the most important system we are going to look at, which are all the organs needed much amount of equipment, much amount of equipment. That is the equipment we are supposed to see. Okay. So first of all, from the top we understand. So here, of course, we know that this is the head portion. This is the head portion. In the head portion, the most important part is nothing but the most important system we can use. That is called as the central nervous system. So central nervous system means that, for example, what it means, central nervous system means that it is the control center of all the other systems. Why it is control system for all the systems? All the other 10 systems, all the other 10 systems will be controlled by this particular system. So that is why it is called a central unit. That is why it is called a central unit. How we can able to control all the other systems? Through the nerves. So that is why this particular system is called as the central nervous system. Okay, so let's take our brain. So the central nervous system is mainly composed of brain and the spinal. Okay, first of all, we are supposed to see the brain parts and the function. So here, so we can able to so this is the brain. Our human brain is total of the human brain is around 1.36 kg. 1.36 kg weighted human brain will control all our. The man who is weighted around 100 kg, this 1.36 kg is very important to control all the other 99 kg. So this is the brain. The most important part in the central nervous system is the human brain. Okay. Then along with that, the spinal cord is a very important. I will explain all these things and then we will see the spinal cord. So here, this is the area where the brain is situated. Okay. This is the part. This is the part. This is the bone, strongest bone, the immovable bone. We call it the immovable bone. That immovable bone is called as the skull. The most strongest bone in the human body. Okay, one of the most strongest bone in the body. It is surrounded by this spongy tissue. It is full of spongy tissue. Spongy tissue. Much amount of neurons are present inside this particular human brain. So here, the human brain is composed of four important parts. Because everybody in the 12th standard itself, we are know that. Composed of four important parts. One is cerebellum, pons, and medulla oblongata. So of course, the pink colored area is nothing but the cerebrum. This area is nothing but your cerebellum, and this is pons, and this is medulla oblongata. Okay, so this is the four important parts of the brain you need to remember. So here, the most important thing as a biomedical engineer, for example, if you are interested in research while you are doing for EEG signal, you are doing research, any research for using the EEG signal, this particular cerebrum play a main role. That is why you are supposed to memorizing the functions of this particular cerebrum very clearly. Okay, because in the EEG waveform, there is alpha, beta, theta, all these waveforms is exponentially corresponding to the function of this human brain. Okay, so this particular cerebrum do 11 different functions: conscious, imagination, intelligence, memory, thinking, reasoning, and plan. Mostly 7 important functions it can able to do. Okay, your conscious can able to given by this particular cerebrum. Okay, then memory, intelligence, reasoning, planning, all these things are what sort of the actions we can able to do. We can able to think over in the neuron with the help of the cerebrum. Okay, and then come to the cerebrum, the small part. That whatever the action you want to, voluntary action you want to do. For example, I want to do a action like this. I want to walk, I want to run, I want to ride on the bike. Whatever the action you need to do, this particular cerebellum can able to do. And 50% of the function is there. And even 50% of the function of the cerebellum is able to make the balance of the body. For example, if you are standing over in the bike, standing over in the bus, suddenly the particular driver make a break. You need a balance to stand over in equilibrium position. During the stage, this particular cerebellum will activate to give the instruction to all the muscles of your ground. All the muscles of the ground means that wherever you can able to hold your hand on the ground, give the instruction to that particular muscles to hold over tightly because the person unnecessarily putting a weight. So that kind of equilibrium, that kind of balance, the body balance can able to done by this. That's it. And in the so the middle of the the most important thing is the middle of the projection. Through that only your spine will be ejected over. Okay, I will clearly explain about the spine. The middle of the and the much to that much of function as compared to a cerebrum. So as the biomedical engineer, most important thing you need to know about the function of the cerebrum and the function of the cerebellum. Very important. Okay, then. So here, we can able to divide this particular human brain into this particular area. We can able to call as a central hemisphere. We can able to see the whole human body. The whole human body is totally controlled by this spongy tissue. This spongy tissue can able to divide in the hemisphere that is called as the central hemisphere. What is the reason behind this? What is the purpose of dividing this particular brains? This particular area will control. This is the right brain. This is the left brain. Okay, please. What is the reason that the God will make the two brains? Okay, I'll tell you. So this particular right brain will control all your voluntary action. This particular brain, this particular left brain will control all the voluntary actions. So that is a very critical situation you can able to face. Okay, for example, the person has a stroke. The person has a sudden stroke in this particular brain. That is in the right brain. Suddenly, the particular patient is affected with paralysis. During the time, the hand and this kind of in this area, all these are affected by the nerve conduction will be collapsed. So automatically the person's hand and the mouth and all these areas will be arrested. They are doing appropriate function, not the mouth. That is what the control waveline. What is the reason behind that control is? Because our human brain is much amount of neurons. Our human brain is much amount of neurons composed. That particular neuron can able to classify it into so many. Okay, we can able to say the sensory neuron, motor neuron. There are so many neurons. The most important thing is sensory neuron. The sensory neuron will pick the information. Motor neuron will give the action. So that particular action movement and the pick movement is especially done through the neurons. From the middle of the head, the spinal cord is protected. The spinal cord receiving the information from the neurons. That information straight away sent into the central hemisphere. In the central hemisphere, it will decide that what is the corpus callosum inside that very important part is called the corpus callosum. The corpus callosum, what it did was that particular corpus callosum, it will decide that this is the information is come from the right side or left side. That sort of information will be collected by the corpus callosum and sending the signal to the corresponding brain. Just think that, just like a factory will work. Okay, so for that particular reason, because of the presence of the corpus callosum doing function, our action will be in the zigzag way. That is the left brain controlling the right side, right brain controlling the left side. Okay, this is the as if you want to do any research on this particular electroencephalography thing, you need to know about all of these parts of it. As a mathematical engineer, if you have known to know this is the brain, this is cerebrum, what is the function, and this is the central hemisphere, you can able to control this brain, this particular area, control the left side and corresponding. Okay. Then. So these are all the most important area. This white colored area is called as the corpus callosum. Inside the corpus callosum, there are much amount of small tissues. Each and every tissue is having a diameter of around 12 millimeter to 15 millimeter only. So just imagine 12 millimeter to 15 millimeter is just a small diameter. That particular thing, especially in that number of tissues, the most important thing is pituitary gland. The pituitary gland is especially present in the hypothalamus. That particular small dot-natured pituitary gland will secrete 11 different hormones. What sort of the feelings you are having? Whether it may be a smiling, whether it may be a happy feeling, whether it may be a sad feeling, whether it may be whatever the feeling is. Because of the hormones only, you can avail that particular feeling. That kind of feelings can able to given by this hormone. It is called the pituitary hormone that is present exactly in the hypothalamus. Okay, so this is what you need to know about the brain and all. Then apart from that, as an academic setting, we are crossed over the frontal lobe, parietal lobe, temporal lobe, occipital lobe. So that all the things are also very important. But as a time being, if you are interested on this particular brain, I will explain you this particular brain in a whole day. But because of the time permits, I am just give that small clarity about the brain is. Okay. Then we can able to just please hold. Once we are removing all the parts, only we can able to take the spinal cord separately. Okay. So what we are going to do now is we can able to take the face part. We are supposed to see the human eye. So human eye. I'm able to take over here. Second part of the parts. So here we can able to see the structure of eye. This is what your eye is situated in your skull region. This eye, especially, it is composed of three important layers: sclera, choroid, and the retina. Sclera and choroid is especially for the protection purpose. Our most important thing in the visual system is retina. So the retina is a very important area. You can able to take over this particular part. So here, at the back side of this particular area, the white colored area is composed of the retina inside that. That particular retina will receive the information from outside. Okay, so that particular retina is composed of so many visual tissues that are called the rods, cones, fovea centralis, optic nerves, okay, blind spots. All these parts are involving in the retinal region. Okay, so what is the purpose we are studying this particular human eye is? There is a separate department in the hospital called the ophthalmology department. In the ophthalmology department, there are over 29 equipments, biomedical equipments. That 29 equipments, if you want to use it, you should know about the anatomy of the eye. So decide yourself. For example, if you are a sales biomedical lecturer or service biomedical lecturer, or you are looking forward to any of the, you are very interested towards the eye, you are looking forward to working as a sales or service biomedical lecturer in any ophthalmological company, you should be aware about each and every parts of the eye. Okay, so detailedly, if you have studied about this particular eye, very complicated circuit inside. Very complicated. This look like very small, but much complicated circuit inside. Because the rods and the cones, the rods and cones, if you look over, if you have a time, you just Google or search it, rods and the cones. Because the rods are responsible for the dim line and the cones are responsible for the bright line. If there is any count variation there in the rods and the cones, automatically the person is blind. So that is what the complicated circuit is present over in the retina. Okay. Then the most important thing you need to know is sclera, choroid, retina, and this region is full of cornea, and the area where the black spot, the center of the black spot is under the iris area. Through that, we can able to the pupil region. Through that, your image will be invertedly present over in the retinal region. Okay, so this is what you need to know about it. If you want to measure the area of the cornea, the equipment called the keratometer. If you want to look out the internal parts of the cornea, internal parts of the retina, you can able to see two different types of equipment. That is called the ophthalmoscope. Using the ophthalmoscope, you can able to see the blood vessels of the retina. Slit lamp is another one of the most important medical equipment. That is called the that is especially for seeing the internal nature of the retina. The internal nature of the retina we can able to see. During our training, I will show you how we can able to do the retinal parts and everything in the slit lamp. Okay. So this is the small description about the human mind. So visual system. Then we can able to move into the respiratory. Respiratory system we can able to move on. Suppose in the respiratory system, we all know that the respiratory system is composed of most important part in the respiratory system is lung. The respiratory system is exclusively for respiration. The two important purposes for the respiratory system is inspiration and expiration. Okay. So this is the bone called the rib bone. This is the bone called the rib bone. A 12-pad rib bone is present. Okay. 12-pad rib bone. You can able to count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So 12 pads of rib bones are there. It is especially for protecting your internal organs. What sort of the internal organs is present? I will show you. Okay. So this particular rib bone can able to flexible. Can able to flex. As like as a skull, it is not immovable bone. Can able to flexible. Because why? What is the reason behind it is flexible? Your lungs will inspire and expire. During the time of inspiration and during the time of expiration, some of the contraction will be taken. That kind of contraction will allow by this particular rib bone. That is why our God will create this particular rib bone as a flexibility. Okay, then come to this particular rib is especially giving protection to the respiratory system and the circulatory system. So this particular rib. So these are all the internal organs present in the chest region. Because of protecting this particular internal organs only, we have the ribs. Okay. So here, first of all, this is a respiratory system. The most important system in the respiratory, the most important organ in the respiratory system is a lung. A bag-like structured lung, a brown-colored area, the brown-colored thing is present here, right? This is called as the lungs. Okay. The respiratory system not start with the lungs. The respiratory system actually start with the nasal cavity. Nasal cavity is nothing but your nose. From the nasal cavity, it will enter into the thoracic region. Okay. In the thorax, we have the trachea. In the trachea, we have the two different branches. I will show you how the trachea will divide on all the things. Okay. First of all, we must know the organ of lung, organ of respiratory system. So this is the part. This is the part called the human lung. This particular lung is expertly used for getting an oxygen from the atmosphere. Without this particular organ, we are not supposed to live properly. This is the extraordinary organ, not only getting oxygen from the that is atmosphere. It can able to get the deoxygenation of the blood from the blood vessels also. So extraordinary function it can able to do. Okay, this particular which is saved lungs. Okay. I'll show you the internal parts, right? So here, this is a pair of lungs I will pick over. Here we can able to find out some of the branches and all. So I told you the trachea, please remember, the trachea starts from your nasal cavity ends and the trachea will start. Whatever the air you are inspired, that particular air will travel through the trachea. The trachea is divided into two different branches. What is the different, what is the need of that particular two branches is each and every branch is need to go and get into the each corresponding lung. Okay, that is why the trachea is divided. That particular bronchi divided into much amount of branches called the bronchioles. Okay, please remember. The most important thing, trachea, bronchi, bronchioles. At the tip of the bronchioles, we have the air sacs. Please remember air sacs. That particular air sacs consists of the small tissue called alveoli. That alveoli did extraordinary functions in the purification process. There are over 2 million alveoli present in each lung. Please remember, 2 million alveoli present in each lung. Once you are inspired the oxygen, once you are inspired the atmospheric air, the trachea, bronchi, bronchioles all did the function. It acts like a canal. It acts like a path canal. Only the air will come and reach the air sacs. What happened next is the alveoli. The alveoli will absorb the oxygen from the atmosphere, inspired air. Only oxygen. It will store the oxygen. Please remember. That is a very important key point. So whatever the chemical factor you can able to see, this is the extraordinary chemical factor you can able to avoid. It will absorb only the oxygen. It will avoid all the other inspired air. Okay. At the same time, this particular alveoli will store the oxygen. Once you are crossed over the circulatory system, we can able to come to this particular point. Please remember, the alveoli did two different functions. One function is it will store the oxygen from the inspired air. Please remember. Okay, and then in the particular lung, we have this particular shaped portion. That particular portion is especially for the diaphragm region. What is the reason behind this is we have some of the residual volume. For example, if you can't able to breathe, you can't able to breathe even at 3 minutes. You can't able to, you are not supposed to breathe even at 3 minutes. You can able to breathe. What is the reason behind this? You have some of the residual volume of the oxygen inside your lungs. Because of that only, you can able to live for further 5 minutes or further 10 minutes. So that particular residual volume need to maintain. That is why we have the shape like this. In this area especially, your residual volume of oxygen will be stored. Once there is any emergency condition over it, it will arise in and it will supply the oxygen. Please remember. Okay, that is what we have the shape like this. Okay, then in this particular area, we have the diagram. See, this particular orange colored area. This is called as the diagram. I will show you. I will dismantle it and show you. This particular area is called as the diagram. It is especially used for pulling the and pushing the lung. Because lung is also need a contraction relaxation. During the inspiration and expiration, that is also needs of the contraction relaxation. That kind of contraction relaxation is done by this particular diagram. Okay. So please hold on. The respiratory system is not completed. Once you pick this particular circulatory system, take over, and we'll see the internal parts of the respiratory system again. Okay. Now we shift to the circulatory system. So of course, the circulatory system, we all know that the most important part in the circulatory system is human heart. Everyone knows about the structure and the functionality of human heart here. Okay. So the lung is present, that is the heart is present exactly in between the lungs. Please remember. Exactly in between the lungs, the heart is situated. That is the reason there. That is why the heart is situated exactly in between the lungs. So the area in between the lungs is called as the medial sternum. That medial sternum is the area where the heart is located. Okay. Suppose the heart is classified into the heart is composed of 4 different chambers. 2 upper chambers are called the auricles, 2 lower chambers are called the ventricles. The right auricle consists of the superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, and the left auricle consists of the pulmonary vein, and the right ventricle composed of the pulmonary artery, and the left ventricle is composed of the aorta. All these are the things you can already studied in the schooling itself at the same time in the anatomical classes. So that is all composed of the circulatory system. I will tell you, What is the reason behind you must know about the functionality of the cardiovascular system? Of course, as like as an ophthalmological department, the cardiological department is also there. Okay, there are over 59 plus equipments are there in the cardiological department. 59 plus equipments are there in the cardiological department. In that, the most important equipment is three important things. One is sphygmomanometer, second one is ECG, third one is echocardiogram. So these three are very important to measuring the activity of the heart. That is why we must know, understand about the functionality of the human heart here. Okay, so that what is the reason for this particular heart? What is the functionality of this particular heart? How the heart is function, that is entirely different. What is the purpose of the heart? It is especially for circulating the blood. It is not doing anything because as comparatively, compared to the lungs, this particular heart doesn't do anything differently. The only different thing is pacemaker. The pacemaker naturally giving the pulses. That is the only different things it will do. But all sort of the chemical things, the chemical reactions, all sort of the chemical factory kind of things are done by your respiratory system. So the circulatory system will circulate the blood. What is the reason for circulating the blood? Because each and every part of the human body needs oxygen. Because of the oxygen needed, your blood will be carrying oxygen and supplying to all the other cells of the human body. So that is why we need a circulatory system. Okay, that particular part, it will absorb the deoxygenated blood first of all. Please remember, your right portion of the heart is fully composed of the deoxygenated blood. Okay, it is composed of the right auricle, right ventricle, superior vena cava, inferior vena cava, pulmonary artery. All this is fully composed of the deoxygenated blood. Okay, take the left side. This particular left auricle, left ventricle, pulmonary vein, and then aorta, all this is composed of oxygenated blood. What is happening between it? This side is oxygenated, this side is deoxygenated blood, this side is oxygenated blood. What happened? How this particular deoxygenation is converted into oxygenation? That particular variation, the deoxygenation is converted into the oxygenation by means of this particular. I already told you the one important function of the alveoli is absorbing oxygen from the atmosphere. The second important function is it will absorbing the carbon dioxide from the blood. See, I already told you the deoxygenated blood will be traveled from the right side of the human blood. That particular deoxygenated blood straight away go to the lungs for the purpose of purification. In that lungs only the purification takes place. All the deoxygenation present in the blood will absorbed by the alveoli. Once it absorbs all the deoxygenation, automatically the deoxygenation is converted into oxygenation. Once it converted into oxygenation, it will come to the heart again. So that is why we are getting the purified circulation here and impurified circulation. Okay, in between that, the lungs play a main vital. Especially the alveoli play a main vital. So the alveoli is a two different functions. It will store the oxygen from the atmosphere. What is the purpose of storing the oxygen? It will send the particular oxygen to the blood. At the same time, it will absorb the carbon dioxide from the blood. So the small amount of alveoli play a main vital role. For example, if in case you don't have 2 millions of alveoli in your lung, you can't able to breathe properly. The chain smokers, right? The chain smokers keep on they are doing that thing. Automatically, the flame will kill the alveoli. Once the count of the alveoli is reduced, you know how far this particular alveoli did the function. The count of the alveoli is reduced, then the observation of the oxygen could not be taken place. Observation of the carbon dioxide from the blood could not be taken place. The sending of the oxygen to the blood could not be taken place. It will be limited down. So that is what the chain smokers keep on having some of the wheezing problems. Some of the wheezing, they are not able to sliding over in the region upwards. So that is what the reason why the alveoli play a main role. So this particular blood needs the deoxygenation into oxygen conversion. That is why it is placed in the nearby the lungs. Okay, this is the reason why the cardiovascular system and the respiratory systems are binded together. Okay, binded together to do some of the special function. Okay, then come to the circulatory system, respiratory system. Then we go for diagram. This is the diagram. Yes. Wait. So this is the part. This is the part. It's called as the see. You can able to see here. This is the portion called the liver. Please remember. This is the portion called the liver and gallbladder and pancreas. All this is composed of here. I hope you are keep on watching. This is placed under the diaphragm, very close to the stomach. This area is called as the stomach. It is placed very close to the stomach and the diaphragm. Please remember. So, what is the purpose of this particular liver? Everyone says that the heart, the cardiovascular system is called as the cardiology. Cardia means that like that your respiratory system lungs. All the sternum, everybody says a sternum like birds. That particular sternum indicates the respiratory system lungs. Like that, this particular liver, the technical term is hepatic. When anybody use the term hepatic, it is closely related to the liver. What is the purpose of this particular liver, gallbladder, and pancreas? Most important purpose is for digestion. Especially for the digestion, it is liver. That is why it is placed very close to the stomach. Okay, it will secrete some of the juice called the bile juice. The bile pigment is there inside the liver. That particular bile pigment will produce the bile juice. That particular bile juice is exposed used for the digestion. Okay, the pancreas and the gallbladder and the insulin process. All this kind of, of course, you are well known about the diabetics. So the diabetics can be controlled by this particular process. Okay, if there is any variation in the carbohydrate metabolism, if there is any variation in the carbohydrate metabolism, so the patient receive diabetics 1 or diabetics 2. So for that particular purpose, this particular insulin play a main vital role. This particular insulin, like the liver along with the insulin, play a main vital role to control that carbohydrate metabolism. Okay, so this is what we need to remember about the liver. So this is the area called the stomach. Please remember. I will take the stomach. I will take the whole. Yes. See, this is the area called the stomach. Once you open the particular stomach, this is the area. The region where the cluster of area that is called as in oxyntic cells. Please remember. The area here we can able to look very plain. Here it is somewhat clustered. What is the reason behind this? It is fully made up of the different type of cells called oxyntic cells. That oxyntic cells are responsible for generating hydrochloric acid. Please remember. What is the reason why the hydrochloric acids? The concentrated hydrochloric acid. Please remember, whatever we are using in the laboratory, that type of concentrated hydrochloric acid is naturally generated in oxyntic cells. What is the reason behind this? Come to the digestive system. Of course, we all know that we are taking a food through the mouth. Okay, we are just crushed over the food. The food is converted into the small ball-like structure called the bolus. Okay, the food is converted into the small ball-like structure. The crushed food is called as the bolus. That particular bolus will enter into the esophagus. That particular bolus will enter into the esophagus. That particular esophagus attain a peristaltic movement. Please remember the word very important. Wherever you attend for any interview, the peristaltic movement. What is meant by the peristaltic movement? They ask. The first peristaltic movement occurring in a human body is from the mouth. Once you are consuming your food, the food travels through the esophagus. The movement that occurs in the esophagus is called as a peristaltic movement. Okay. Once it reaches the stomach, once it reaches the stomach, this particular stomach receives all the bolus. That particular bolus is converted into the chyme. already crushed food will be cut it out by small particles. That particular small particle conversion is done in this particular step. How it can able to done? Because of the presence of the hydrochloric acid. In the mouth, we have the teeth. In the mouth, we have the tongue. Through using that, we can able to crush the food. But here in the stomach, there is no teeth, there is no mandibular particles. So we need to crush the particular bolus into the small subatomic particles. For that particular region, the God made this oxalic cells. This oxalic cells will crush the bolus into the small particles. Okay, and then that crushed food material is called as a chyme, CHYME. That particular chyme will enter into the next part of the stomach called the duodenum, and then it is entered into the large intestine and the small intestine. See? See? The stomach will enter this particular stomach. Once it receives the food, that particular receives the food bolus is converted into the chyme, and that particular chyme will enter into the large intestine and the small intestine. What happened in the large intestine and the small intestines? The most important thing is happening in the large intestine. That is a small intestine. The finger-like projections are there in the internal wall. Basically, the finger-like projections are there in the internal wall. That is called as a villi, VILLI. Whatever the food you are consuming, the reabsorption takes place in the villi region. That is a small intestine. I give you just an example. For example, you are receiving some of the headache. Okay, you are receiving some of the headache. For example, you are taking tablet. You are consuming the tablet through the mouth. Within half an hour, your headache is gone. What is the reason? How the particular tablet is going is fading into the brain. That is what this particular villi did the function. Please remember. All the absorbed food will be crushed over and reach the small intestine and large intestine. The reabsorption takes place. What happened in the reabsorption is all the minerals will be reabsorbed here in the brain. That particular villi received the information from the brain. Because of some of the mineral deficiency only, we are receiving some of the pain, like a headache or headache, whatever it may be. Then the human neuron give the instruction to the villi. This particular area has a deficiency of this mineral. That mineral we consumed already through the tablet. Through that particular tablet, this villi absorb the particular mineral and send through the blood and it will reach the deficiency area. Then automatically your headache will be gone. So this is what we are consuming the tablets and everything is gone within an half an hour. This is the reason why it happened. Not only this villi, the most important thing is also present there, the urinary system. Okay, this is one of the examples. Large intestine and the small intestine. There's the much amount of reabsorption. That is why we are having much amount of cluster of vessels like this. Much amount of cluster of vessels like this because of that. None of the minerals will be escaped out. None of the minerals will be escaped out. All these kind of materials will be reabsorbed in this particular area. Okay, this is large intestine, the black color, and this is the small intestine. We are able to take out. Separately, you are expanding everything separately. This is the large intestine. This is the small intestine. Okay, the very important part. This is the small intestine. The cluster. In the Tamil they call it a kodal. This is the cluster of small intestine. So here, just take out of all the internal parts, the externally looked internal parts they remove. This is what your body is look like. This is what your body is look like. You can able to take this particular thing. I already told you this is the part called the diagram. This is the diagram expository. This is a very spongy and it is very contracted. This is the part is expository used for the lungs respiratory system contraction lungs. Okay, that is apart from the contraction purpose, this diagram does not with any sort of different. Okay, come to the internal. Able to spinal cord. Yes. See, I will separate the lungs one. I will take the lungs now. Here, we can able to see. I already told you. We can remove the. So here, just look. I already told you from the trachea, it will divide into the two branch called the bronchi. In the bronchi, we have so many branches called as the bronchioles. At the end of the we are disbanding this particular, this is called the pulmonary and the aorta vein. So here, this is called as the trachea. All pharynx, larynx, all the things you can able to see. So this is the trachea. We can find out the disc-shaped structure. What is the purpose of this particular disc-shaped structure is for the filtration. Any unnecessary things you are supposed to observe from the atmosphere, that kind of thing will be absorbed here in this disc area. That will be sent out through the exhalation. Okay, so this is the area called the trachea, and this is bronchi, and the black, and these are all the branches called as the bronchioles. The aggregate fruit-like structured black spot that is called as the air sacs. Inside the air sacs, much amount of alveoli expressed. Okay, this is called as the respiratory system, most important. Then come to the so this is the area we can able to divide and come to this particular. Okay. So now we are supposed to see the urinary system. So here, what are all the equipments we are supposed to use here in the stomach and the intestines are called the endoscopes. Endoscopes we are supposed to use. There are so many kind of endoscopes are there. Colonoscopes are there, rectoscopes are there, laparoscopes are there. So all these kind of things are especially used for observing what has happened in the internal stomach and intestine. Okay. There. Don't wait. So this is the part called the kidney. The most important part in a human body is urinary system. Most of the digestion, most of the mineral absorption, most of the deabsorption, especially taken place in this kidney. That is why the kidney play a main vital role. While you are whether the person having a diabetes or whether the person have the blood impurities, all the things happen once your kidney is not functioning properly. Okay, the small pear-shaped structure is called as a kidney. The kidney is especially used for excreting the urine. Not only that, it is also called as a urinary system. It is having a two name, please remember. Excretory system and also urinary system. What is the reason behind it is called as the excretory system is it will excrete the urine. What is the reason why it is called as the urinary system is it will absorb the, it will manufacture, you can able to say, it will create the urine. The most important thing is in the urine, there are much amount of minerals to be reabsorbed here. Please remember. That kind of reabsorption is done by the small snake-like structure that is called as a nephron. There are over millions of nephrons is present in each kidney. Millions of nephrons are present in each kidney. What the structure of villi did, the same thing triple times this particular nephron will do. It will absorb all the minerals initially. If some of the minerals will be escaped over, that kind of minerals will be reabsorbed in the villi. So please remember, this kidney play a main vital. Okay. And so the parts of the kidney, this is the two different parts. There's a kidney here. So this is the entire urinary system. This is the entire urinary system. Here we can able to place a here we can able to place a kidney like this. Here it is a renal artery and the renal vein. The renal artery is the most important part. It is carry the oxygen. The renal vein is carries that deoxygenation. Okay. During the time of the oxygenation and deoxygenation, the absorption, that is reabsorptions, all the things takes place in the nephron. Because of the very minute structure, we can't able to show you the nephron here. Of course, everyone knows that the parts of the nephron, the glomerular, glomerulus, and that is what we call the dorsal, the Bowman's capsule, distal convoluted tubule, there is a Henle lobe, then a collecting duct. All these are the proximal convoluted tubule. That is what I mean. The proximal convoluted tubule, then the Henle lobe, then the distal convoluted tubule, then the collecting duct. All these are extraordinary function. The distal convoluted tubule, exposure, it will absorb some of the particular vitamins and proteins. The proximal convoluted tubule, exposure, it will absorb some of the fats. The Henle lobe, it will exposure absorbing some of the mineral or mineral parts, mineral salts. So each and every parts of the each nephron will take different function. So just think that the millions of nephron will join together to absorb all the minerals. So that is why your kidney is failed. Then all these kind of reabsorption should not be take place. Whatever you are consuming, it should not be reabsorbed. It will be coming out. Whatever you can able to take, it will coming out without reabsorption. So your health is totally collapsed because of the absence of the skin. Okay, in particularly nephron. Okay, so this is the kidney, and then here we have in the middle part we have the ureter, the two pair of kidney. The tube that is emerging out from the kidney is called as the ureter. The ureter will join to the bag-like structure called the urinary bladder. This is called as the urinary bladder. We can able to take up. This is exposure for storing the urine. Okay, once this particular bag is filled out, then the urethra receive the information from the brain. We need to eject it out. Okay, then through that the urethra, the urine will be exposed. And then, so here this is the portion. This is the portion of your small intestine. Please remember where I need to take. That is what the demonstration is. Please remember where I need to take. This is taken out behind the ureter. Please remember behind the urinary bladder. Sorry, behind the urinary bladder. It is exposure present in this particular region. The large intestine, the colon, rectum, you already so know, colon, rectum, all these parts. So all this part is okay. This is the area we can able to inject the endoscopes. If there is any, many of them have this is the cancers here. Oral cancer, there is a rectum cancer, rectal cancer, abdominal cancer. All these are affected in this area. Exposure. Okay, that kind of persons, if you want to use any of the equipment called the colonoscope, rectoscope, you can able to move this particular knob into this particular area. Then straight away we are just viewing all the parts internally, what has happened exactly, what is the condition of the cancer and all the things we can able to observe. The appendix, then the piles, all this is because of this particular colon rectum. Okay, rectum mass. Then this is what, and then we go for the next important part. Esophagus. This is the blood vessel. One of the blood vessels in the food pipe and the windpipe. All these things. Okay. Then we are supposed to remove the spinal cord. Okay. See the most important
column is a bone. This I already told you in the initial part. I told you the central nervous system is fully composed of the brain and the spinal cord. I already told you what is the brain and what are the parts and what are the important things. So this is the next important part. The tube that is emerging out from the brain region. That is called as the spinal cord. Okay, that is called as the spinal cord. You can able to say some of the parts you have already studied through the academics. That is the lumbar arrangement, thoracic arrangement, cervical arrangement, cochlear arrangement. All these things you already crossed over academically. So this is the look over. This particular spinal cord is not there in the human body. This particular human body, human organs, not in a balanced manner. Every balance can able to done by this particular spinal cord. That is a tertiary function. What is the primary function is? For example, I just touched a myel like this. I just touched a myel like this. The myel understands that somebody is touching. That kind of information can able to also receive and send by this spinal cord. How it is? If I touch this particular person, in this particular area, the sensory neuron is there. The sensory neuron does straight away give the information to the brain, not straight away give the information to the brain. It will give the information to the brain through this particular spinal. So within a fraction of a second, the sensory neuron gives the instruction to the spinal cord. The spinal cord receives the information from the sensory neuron. It will give the instruction to the brain. The brain will assemble that. So it will, I'm sorry, it is wrong, it is right. It is wrong, it is right. It will decide it and give the instruction to the motor. Then the motor neuron, within a fraction of a second, the motor neuron receives the information and it will send to the particular spinal cord and give the reaction. Okay, for example, a small handle is there, small lighting is there, a small fire is there. If I want to touch the fire, within a fraction of a second, I feel it's very worst. I just take down. Within a fraction of a second, this particular sensory neuron receives the information and it will send to the brain through the spinal cord. Then the brain gives the instruction that was very hot. Please take your hand out. Like that, the information carried by the motor neuron, that kind of information will reach your fingertip through the spinal cord. So the sensory neuron receives the information, it will send to the brain through the spinal cord. The motor neuron receives the information from the brain, it will send to the fingertip through the spinal cord. So without spinal cord, the information transformation is also not happening. So that is what this particular spinal cord secondary function is. Please remember. Tertiary function I told you, secondary function I told you, primary function, what is that? This particular spinal cord. So, extraordinary arrangement. The God's great. The world's best machine. The world's best machine is human body. The world's best machine is human body. Whatever the machines it may be, whatever the complicated machine is may be, you are not supposed to frame a human body. Even though we are in the modern technology, we are not supposed to frame a machine like this. A machine, the whole machines like this. See, each and every equipment, I say so many functionalities. So like this, one more thing is vertebral column. This particular vertebral column, the primary function of this vertebral column is equilibrium. Okay, it consists of inside this particular spinal cord, we have a small spine-like, the small pin-like structure, the small projection-like structure that is called as the spine. All the function is done by that particular spine. The spine is very short. The spine is very short. At the same time, as like it is very short, it is very short to absorb the information also. Okay, I will show you the spine. So here we can dismantle this. Where is this? This is the portion of the function. All the function. This is just a cover. Please remember. This is just a cover. That is why it is called as a vertebral column. Vertebral column, we say. This is just a box. We are unboxing this particular vertebral column. We can able to see the spine. This is a very important thing. Whatever the functionality I say, all the function is done by this particular spine. All the information should be gathered through this. All the information will be gathered from this side. Through this, all the information will be gathered from this. Okay, this is what the spine is. And then we can able to say this is a rib, this is a hip region, and then we can able to say all the skeletal systems and the bones. So apart from all these systems, We have the muscular system. We have the muscular system, skeletal systems along with that. Okay. Then we have the lymphatic system also. Okay. All these is composed of the human anatomy. So if you are not aware about all these equipment, for example, if you are appointed as an application specialist in physics, for example, you are appointed as an application specialist in physics. I'm sorry, in physics, engineer role. If you are going to give the demo to the doctor is listening how you are giving them. During the time, you are not aware about this part. During the time, you are not aware about this part. The doctor asks you to show the kidney through the port. During the time, you should know about the kidney is present here. The kidney is present here. You are not supposed to use the probe here. You are not supposed to search the kidney here. You must know where the kidney is. You must know where the ureter is. You must know where the urinary bladder is. You can able to draw the diagram in the board. You can able to draw the diagram in the paper is entirely different. Practically, if you are going to show the kidney through the probe, it's somewhat complicated. That is a very important thing for a biomedical engineer to do. So through the probe, you must know the internal organs. The diagram, there are so many books out there. Your faculty members are diagrammatically explain all the parts and everything. Once you are practically entering into the market, practically you are supposed to see the cardiology, practically you are supposed to see the lungs and the kidney and all. It is entirely looking different. It is very complicated because all these internal circuits are there. All the internal circuits are there. You are just very complicated to find out where the kidney is, where the liver is. All are looking at the same picture as the blood. So that is what the complication arises. So electrical electronic even they are touching all these parts of that. Once only the biomedical engineer can able to know where the kidney is, where the heart is, what is the function of that is, all these things. That is why the reason we are studying about these parts. Okay, so please remember. So these are all the most important thing as a biomedical engineer. Okay, so you are not supposed to learn everything in deep, but at least what I'm saying now, you are just keep on going. That is enough knowledge to use the equipment over there. Okay, so that's all about this particular thing. Now, Mr. Maidin will assemble. Most important thing I already told you, whatever the medical equipment you are dismantling. Dismantling is very easy. Please remember the dismantling is very easy. Reassembled is somewhat complicated. Whatever the equipment. This is I already told you this is a very complicated equipment. Mr. Michael will reassemble all the parts and how this particular man is look like in the starting code. As like this particular man is. Okay. Stop it. So this is the biggest summary of what the human anatomy model. So this is what you need to know. You just look how many internal organs are spread over and 2 to 3 minutes back, but everything is invented. This is what our human body is fully made up of. This is what our full human body is made up of. Human body is made up of much amount of complicated human organs inside. Each and every organ did extraordinary function. So each and every organ did a special function, not the same function in each and every organ. Each and every organ did a complicated functions. All the things that is present inside the human organ will give healthy and the normal ranges, normal values, normal signals to each and every cells of the human body. That particular signals, that particular information will be gathered by means of the equipment. That is what we are having so many medical equipments to observe all these sort of internal organs. Okay, so this is what you can able to learn, and this amount of this sort of knowledge is of course this sort of knowledge at least you should have about this particular human body before you are entering into the equipment. Okay, so that's all about today's session. I hope you understand this session 1 and session 2 clearly. So from tomorrow onwards, we are starting the medical equipment. Straight away enter into the medical equipment. So as per your schedule, tomorrow class is the demonstration of the stethoscope and the dismantling and the remantling. Yes, something the stethoscope here. Okay, thank you very much. Okay, so you can able to view this particular thing, mangling and dismantling video will give to you very clear clarity about all the internal organs of the human body. Yeah. So thank you very much and thanks a lot. We'll meet the tomorrow sessions by the same time.